to have high demand in your offers. You're here because you are ready to get back on track, especially when life gets busy. Life has been so busy, business has been booming, and I have just been realizing, like, not only have I been tired, which it's a blessing to be able to be tired doing exactly what God has called you to do, but I am so adamant about ensuring that my heart posture is correct, that I'm surrendered to what God is asking me to do, and not allowing my business, my life, the people in my life determine the pace that I'm moving. I have to determine the pace. God determines the pace through me. And if we allow our business and all of those external situations and people and things, all the nouns, determine how we're moving and how fast we're moving, your business and you are going to grow so fast that you're not stopping to fix the cracks in the infrastructure. And so today, that is why it is so important that we just take a step back, take a breather, and realign. We need to reflect, realign, and recommit, especially to all those goals and those desires that you have. We are still at the very beginning of the year, depending on when you're watching this. But I'm just really excited because I want to get back into my content systems, setting that in place, my meal plans. I've been working out really hard and my weight hasn't been dropping, but you know why? I haven't been as intentional with my meal preps. Even in my business, I'm understanding, like, okay, there are some shifts that I need to make, but because I've been moving so fast, I haven't made them. God gave me revelation from a few weeks ago. I haven't made the shifts. So that's what this video is going to be all about. I was going to film this in a few days and be like, okay, I'll film this with them on Saturday, but I thought, why not start now? Why do I keep pushing it off until the next day? That's what I'm talking about. We're so busy that we're like, okay, I'll do it later. I'll do it tomorrow. I'll try tonight. And then we don't do it. Even just as simple as implementing my nighttime routine. I've been doing it, but I have been half booty doing it. Like, I haven't been doing exactly what I said I was going to do. And I am a woman of my word, and so are you. So we're going to follow through. We're going to implement these systems, and we're going to ensure that we are showing up in our businesses, in our life, and for ourselves. Because if you are not taken care of, you're not going to be able to take care of your business. You're not going to be able to, be involved with your family. You're not going to be able to make money to give unto others and live the life that God has placed and called you to live. You have a purpose. And in order for us to walk in that purpose, we have to ensure that our infrastructure, our foundation is firm and that we're not skipping over the cracks, continuing to build on top, and then one day wondering why everything fell. There are so many women in business who have grown their businesses to 8-9 figures, threw it all away because they were so unfulfilled and so burnt out. That is not the vibe. That is not what we're doing. We are taking a step back, taking a deep breath, and just thinking about what are the things that God has told me to do or that God has been nudging me to do that I can't seem to get out of my head that I keep pushing off till later. For me, that's content. For me, that's my meal plan. For me, that's really just showing up, honoring my home, honoring my car. I can't think of anything else off the top of my head right now because I kind of just picked up the camera and started talking, but I'm really excited to just bring you with me through my day and through the next few days to, get back on track after falling off just a little bit. Something that I was doing yesterday, I was trying to plan out all of my content for the next few months, just getting more intentional about everything that I do. So I really want to make an entire video about my content systems as a business owner. I just stepped out of a strategy, and so God is calling me to step into a new strategy because it's a different season, and I want to create the video on my last strategy. But I was sitting here trying to map out all my content, and I was just so overwhelmed because I hadn't done it in a long time. But I had to remember, take a deep breath. Why don't you think about a point in time where content felt really not easy, but you enjoyed it and you were on track with it, you showed up? I thought about it and I was like, wow, it was when I was using a calendar and I put everything on my calendar so I could see it really large. I knew what I was doing, especially as a business owner who I have a YouTube channel, I have a podcast, I have short form, and then I also have my e-commerce business, which I haven't been showing up at all in. It's there. If people order, I ship their orders out, and I use a lot of my journals and all of my YouTube content and all the things. That just hasn't been a top priority right now. But if you've been watching my Founder Diaries, God has actually been shifting me in what I've been doing in my business and ensuring that I'm more using my voice. And I know you're probably like, girl, you use your voice on YouTube all the time. I know, but God is calling me to be more intentional with using my voice, especially with my podcast, especially with these videos. For the last 5 to 6 months, maybe not 6, maybe 4, I have been showing up. I've been doing my talking videos. God was challenging me to show up with no script. That's what I was doing. Now that I've learned how to communicate with no script, there are moments where he's showing me that it's time to show up the way that I used to, because it is going to push out my content to the people who I'm called to serve. I have offers right now that can solve so many people's problems, but they don't know I exist. And so that's what God's been dealing with me with. And I also, with my podcast, I want to have a spot in my house that's more elevated than what I have. So it's why haven't I gone to the store and just put a picture on the wall behind me? My friend told me the other day, when I come over, it doesn't feel like it's a home. It just feels like you're temporarily living there. And it's so funny because I used to move around all the time. This is really the first season in my life where I haven't moved around a lot. And that's why I just never really decorated. And so I feel that though. I don't feel super inspired in my home. So I want to make these changes. It's I haven't done it because I've been so busy. But my whole point is, when you're doing your content, we'll walk through it together when I start actually doing it. But I'm really excited to use this calendar that I got from. And I don't know if it's the business owner in me or just the creative in me or the person who just loves creating products. I was in the area where I bought this calendar and I was thinking about it. I'm like, none of these are what I want. I just need to create my own and sell it, because I know one day I'm going to step into creating products for business owners, planners, journals where they're jotting their ideas and all these different things, calendars, notepads. I'm excited for the day that happens, but right now that's not what God is calling me to do. He just keeps downloading these ideas and I'm just okay, especially because in October I have $1 Million Impact Live Mastermind. So I'm going to put that in the description. I would love to see you there in person. It is going to be for my faith-driven women in business who want to come into a space where you're supported, where you receive strategies to help scale your business to the next level, of course, rooted in the Word of God. So I'm really excited. Before we get right into everything, I want you to ask yourself, what have I been putting off that needs to get done that will make life easier in this busy season and free up more time? When life gets busy, you tend to stop doing the things that were actually helping you, and you get comfortable. You stop showing up in the same way. You start allowing your thoughts and ideas live rent-free in your mind instead of putting them on a piece of paper. And even just that alone is going to change absolutely everything. So I want you to ask yourself those questions, and that's what you're going to be focusing on for this reset, I would say. For me, number one, content planning, ensuring that I am ahead of the game, that I have everything planned out, that I'm not waiting till the week of being like, oh my gosh, what am I going to post? Like, I should already have an idea of what that is. And normally I do, because I'm someone who keeps a very, very long list in their phone of ideas as they come up, because I don't want to come to my filming day, like tomorrow is my content batching day. I don't want to show up and have no idea what I'm going to do. So that also is very helpful. Number two is batch edits. If I never filmed again for the rest of the year, I would have enough content to post. I have so much content to edit. It is ridiculous. And so now it's also reminding me, okay, maybe what I really need to do, like what I do in my Ambitious Woman Sprint, is to do another time study. Where am I spending my time that I could actually be delegating and giving to someone else, especially when life is busy? I've been in a season where the people that I have been delegating to, God has actually called them to close their business. And so my first response was, God, I trust you. Like, thank you for removing people that aren't meant to be here. So right now I am in a place where I am not delegating as much, but just because it's busy is like, why haven't I started looking for someone else? Of course, I'm going to move when God says move. I don't want to move and get out of position when I know that God is going to provide me that person anyways. But it's like, where can I show up? And even just thinking about how Claude AI now does a lot of tasks that I was actually delegating. So it's like, why not spend the time learning that to implement in my business to make my life easier? So it's thinking about those things. And I'm glad I'm talking this out with you, because I didn't think about that before. So first, content planning. 2, batch editing. 3 is my meal plan. When it comes to my meals, I love eating healthy. I've really been struggling with my weight. I work out very consistently. I eat very healthy, but even though I'm eating healthy, I'm not being as intentional with what I'm eating. Meaning, am I eating the right portions every day? I don't even know. Am I having enough protein in my day? Probably not. Like, I could keep going down the list of, I don't even know if I'm even showing up in the best way, which is a problem because life is busy. I need to fix that. So that's number 3. Number 4 is to just review all of the revelation that God has given me and ensure that I have done what I'm supposed to do. For example, all of my calls for my community in the inner circle, for my private mentorship clients, they've all been at the end of the week. And I just recently realized I'm spreading myself thin because I'm having these calls on Wednesdays and Thursdays, but I also have the communities that I invest in on Mondays and Tuesdays. So I'm basically on calls the entire week. So I thought about, okay, why not move those calls to the beginning of the week so it leaves the end of the week open for me? And I shifted my filming days from Tuesdays to Fridays. So I just want to review everything that God has spoken to me over the past few weeks and get that done. And I know one of those is updating my social link online. Right now, I have a bunch of links separated all over the place. So I want to make sure that I put that inside of one spot so that people can join the wait list for $1 Million Impact, the live event, where people can join Voice of Conviction, the 10-day live immersion, where people can apply to join the inner circle and private mentorship. Have everything in one spot so that people can find things easier. And last but not least, my ShopMy. ShopMy is really important. I was using Like to Know It, but I really believe with ShopMy, I can link a lot more products. I know that as I'm using my YouTube videos and filming these YouTube videos, people are asking me where I'm getting stuff from, what I'm wearing, the equipment that I'm using, I could be increasing my monthly income just by linking everything. So taking time to do that. And I don't know if this is a task that I can, give to Claude AI to do for me, which if that's possible, I really believe it is. That would be really helpful. I'm about to write that down. Cool. So we have our list of what I'm going to do over the next few days. And also, I really want to walk you through my calendar system of, how I'm planning my week. I really believe that putting that in a whole separate video for people to find on the feed will be amazing. But I just want to briefly go over that with you because as someone who is getting back on track, especially in a busy season, you must put everything in your calendar, because if you don't, someone named Let's is going to contact you. And I got this from Dr. Miles Monroe. They're going to say, hey, let's go to eat. Let's go do this. Let's go do that. And you're going to be like, yeah, let's go. But in reality, you didn't write all of your responsibilities and all the things that God has given you to steward on your calendar. And I want you to have this perspective. When you use your calendar, it frees up your time. When you have boundaries, when you walk in discipline, it actually gives you more time in your business and in your life. It's been so helpful for me. And because I started planning everything in my calendar, every time I get an idea or thought, or just add it as a task, and it frees my mind of holding on to so much. And I can look at my calendar and purposely add a founder refill day where I take half of the day off to do whatever it is that I want to do in the middle of the week. Whether it's hang out with my friends, whether it's go to the park and read my Bible, whether it's go to the store. So I'm really excited for this. I don't know if you can tell, but it's lighting me up. And if I have time, I want to go to Hobby Lobby just to take a look and see if I can find something to put on the wall. I actually have these really big, portraits already, but I could do like the caster thing where I make my own. I don't know if it's caster. Anyway, I have a call right now that I have to hop on, and then we're going to get right into all this. God has shown up for us in this sprint, for each and every one of us. And now we're getting to a point of finishing strong, but also having this mindset of, I just want things to come faster. But God is reminding me, and what I believe he's calling me to remind you is, just because we have a need, it's not going to make it come faster. It's not going to come faster by force. It's going to come faster by us continually showing up, following through with our word, doing the things that we said we were going to do. And that also comes with integrity and understanding. Do things need to shift right now? Is the way that I'm showing up actually benefiting the growth of what I planted? So it's just a moment for you to sit and really reflect and think about everything that is happening right now. You are in a position that you prayed for. So praise God for these types of problems that we're having, because just 3 months ago when we started this sprint, this is the exact moment that we prayed for. And because we're standing in a moment that we prayed for, now it's time for you to shift again. It's constant refinement. It's constant shifting. It's constant pivoting. We are not the same person that we were in January. And so now that it's about to be March, April, it's about to be Q2. God is stretching you even more. It's causing you to shift again. It's causing you to be uncomfortable again. We're all having these emotions and these feelings because God is calling you to pivot. He's calling you to be even more intentional. This is a constant process of growth. This is a constant process of removing what can hinder the growth of the seed that we planted. So we spent this first quarter of the year planting the seeds. Now we're removing what's not needed, and we're tending to this plant, ensuring that the harvest continues to grow. And what that looked like for me is constantly, like, again, asking myself, okay, I know you called me to do YouTube. I know you've called me to do podcasting. I know you've called me to have this community. I know you called me to launch this new offer. Like, how am I supposed to do all of this? And I'm realizing, like, God puts weight on us that we can handle, but it doesn't mean, like, in the weight room, it could be a weight that you can carry, but even if you're carrying it wrong, it can still hurt you. So the weight that we're carrying, are we carrying it in the right way, where we are dependent on God to carry it with us? Are you truly depending on God in this season? Are you truly, or are you doing this by yourself? And you just think that you're doing it with him? These are the constant questions and the refinement that you have to ask yourself as he continues to elevate you and call you higher and bring you higher. Hello. Just hopped off one of my private clients' calls, and I was going to do my content planning first, but I just decided, since I'm already at the computer, what I'm gonna do is do my social link page. So right now I have my links kind of all over the place, so let's get through this together. So I started working on my social link. Before, I was using StanStore, and then I switched to Ivory. And so right now I'm kind of in this place where I'm like, it would be faster for me to just use StanStore. But then on the other hand, I would really love it if I just went ahead and used Ivory. So that's what I did. I built all that out, and truly, if you are a business owner and you are still using StanStore, yes, I think StanStore works very well, but there becomes a point in your business where it's really time to start using funnels, being able to tag, do all of those things, and StanStore just isn't enough. And so that's why I've officially switched over to Ivory. I still do use StanStore for like basic, tech stuff, which is why I'm still over here contemplating, maybe I'll just make my StanStore social link first just to get it done. And then I can build out my Ivory one up some more, because what you just saw and what I showed you as I was building it out is what I made the Ivory store for. But I'm someone who really values aesthetics and all of those things, and it doesn't really look how I desire it to. So I'm actually just gonna go ahead and use my StanStore instead. I made the decision, and I'm just gonna do it because it would just allow things to go a lot more faster. And this is something, again, that I can do later on, because right now we're focusing on getting back on track. And because I'm getting back on track and doing the things that I have been neglecting or putting off because everything has been so busy, it is so important that time is of the essence. I don't want to waste time needing things to be perfect or needing things to look a certain way. I just need to execute, still in excellence, but not in a way where it's holding me back and I'm spending the rest of my afternoon on it when there's other things that I could do. Wow.
Jesus cover me under the blood, me say me under the blood. 11.99 just to find one. dark place, couldn't find her. I need someone I can trust. Jesus, can you cover me in blood? 'Cause under the blood, me see me under the blood. Under the blood, me see me under the blood. Jesus, cover me under the blood. Under the blood, me see me under the blood. Under the blood, me see me under the blood. Under the blood, me see me under the blood. Jesus, cover me under the blood. Under the blood, me see me under the blood. Thank you. Yes. Father, can you wash my sin, make me clean? I just wanted more of you, less of me, and I don't need a single soul to agree. And when life is way too much,
I just spent so much time doing the prep work so that I can content plan efficiently and effectively. And I was going to do it on camera, but then I thought, why not just do it first so that I can really explain to you in case you want to do it too. So the first thing I had to think about is really getting crystal clear on my brand. And because I've been doing this for a very long time, having a personal brand, being a business owner, I really wanted to just make sure that I rewrote everything out to ensure that there was nothing that shifted, nothing that changed. I feel like a lot of people really struggle when it comes to posting content, and they show up the week of thinking like, oh my gosh, what am I going to post? It's because they didn't take time to do the prep work beforehand. Especially as a business owner, you have an offer that you're selling because it's going to serve someone. And so when you know how to effectively show up, create a product that is serving that client, and then creating content around that while also building your personal brand, like, you are going to be so successful at everything you do, especially when you're doing it using your voice, because I know that God has called you to do so. So what you can ask yourself when you're really trying to determine your brand, which we're going to go super in depth inside Voice of Conviction. I'll make sure to link it in the description. So you want to ask yourself, how do I envision my brand in the future? Or what has God called me to do on this platform, or called me to do just in general? So maybe you're someone and you're like, I know God has called me to be a speaker. That's going to shift your entire strategy with how you show up, how you film your videos, and how you move forward. Whereas if you're someone where you're like, I know God has called me to have a YouTube channel and a podcast and just create offers, that's going to be different than someone who God has called to be more of an influencer with a personal brand who is receiving brand deals. It's an entirely different strategy in how you're going to show up. Then you're going to ask yourself, what is your mission? What are your values? Who is your dreamiest client that you desire? You're thinking about the problems they're having, the fears, what do they want? And ensuring that you are really understanding what they know that they want, not what you think that they want. That's really important. And then understanding your brand voice, how you actually want to be perceived, how you want people to feel. And then also understanding, what is your zone of excellence? What are you so good at that people are constantly asking you questions about, that you could talk about forever, that excites you, that brings you so much joy? What is that for you? Because that's also going to determine how you move forward in your offers and also in your content strategy and in your content plan. Then I went through and I wrote out what my content pillars are. So I'll share those with you. One is going to be Founder Diaries, which is more going to be like behind the scenes of building my business, behind the scenes of, doing this event, lots of lifestyle vlogs, really incorporating just my personality more, like even doing get ready with me's, sharing my favorite tools and products as a business owner, which will also increase revenue as well, because I'll be able to do these affiliate links through my ShopMy, which is why it's on my list. My second one is voice-based marketing ecosystems, because I know God has called me into the lane of using your voice as an asset. Leverage your voice to make more money, leverage your voice to make more impact. I am a genius at marketing ecosystems. That's podcasting, YouTube, having like a multi-purpose strategy, TikTok, Instagram. And while I'm not going to be specifically teaching, oh, these are the trends that are happening, that's not my kind of vibe. I'm the strategist. I'm the person that gives you strategy on what to do and how to execute, and executing it in a way where you have omnipresence in your brand in order to increase opportunity and increase reach to the masses. So that's going to be that content pillar. And I'll probably talk about like YouTube, like I said, podcasting, Instagram, TikTok. Those are going to be my baseline platforms that I will reference. And then I'm also, just so you can see how I'm thinking in my brain, I'm thinking about these content pillars in a way where, like, yes, these are what I get excited about. This is my genius, but also, do I actually have offers for these pillars? If I do, great. If I don't, that's something for me to note, like a mental note, write it down actually, for me to think about, okay, in the future, this is actually something that I can create and start posting about. Because I'm noticing with my own page, a lot of what I'm talking about, I love it and it's great. I just have consistently been doing the same thing. And so there is no variety in what I'm posting. The third content pillar is non-negotiable CEO systems and routines. So this is going to be like morning routines, night routines, productivity, like how to stay grounded when you're growing a business. So many other things like content calendars and, your calendar system when you're planning out your week, anything productivity, time management, all those things I absolutely love. While I am not the best because I am type B plus, and let me not put that on myself, I have been type B plus and I desire to be type A, and I am in a lot of areas, but then there are some areas where I'm not, which is why I said B plus. That's going to be that area or that content pillar. And then my last content pillar, of course, is business alignment with God. So this is all about growing your business with God at the center, and tips on how you do that, reminders, encouragement for people, because building a business is hard. And it's even harder in a way when you're building it with God because you're not doing it like the world. You're growing your business in a way that is set apart and that really calls you to be so aligned and walking in so much integrity that it doesn't matter what's happening around you. You're going to stand firm on your foundation, which is the Lord, Jesus. And I really believe that is where God has graced me and has given me oil for all four of these areas. And to be in a place where God is just confirming all of this for me, I'm just so excited. Now that I've determined my content pillars and all of my branding, this is going to make planning my episodes for my podcast so much easier, planning my content for my short form and my long form so much easier. This is what I was already doing on my YouTube, but being able to bring that and branch that into the other platforms is going to be great, because like I told you before, is that I've been doing a lot of founder diaries where I'm just talking and sharing like lessons and things that are going on, but that's kind of been all I've been posting. I haven't been really posting anything very intentional that would help you, which I know all my founder diaries, they do help you. A lot of people have shared that, but I just want to be able to make more content that will increase the page and increase the reach so that I'm impacting more people, because I know this is where God called me to be. So now what we're going to do is get my calendar, and I want to jot down, what days I'm going to be posting, what that looks like for when I need to have that filmed, and all the things. And if you haven't seen my YouTube strategy video where I shared a lot of the lessons I learned from being on YouTube for over a year and monetizing within 2 months, I want to encourage you to watch that video, because you're going to get a full breakdown on exactly what I'm about to do, but I'm going to show you as I'm doing it. I've got my calendar, and then I've got my highlighters and my pens. I have my journal with what I showed you earlier and what we went over together. So this is for April. It is currently March 20th. So I only have like a week or two before this. And now I'm just gonna fill this out. This is going to be for long form only, meaning podcast and YouTube. I don't wanna busy this up with short form because this will be overwhelming for me. I would rather have my short form on an entirely different sheet. We have my YouTube channel, Inspires, and then we have my podcast, which is out on all platforms, Business Redefined. To make this easier on myself, I'm going to be doing pretty much the same content pillar for the same week, whether it's my YouTube or my podcast, so that I can kind of use the same themes and layout for both of these businesses, because we want to work smarter, not harder. I'm going to write out what my batch filming days are going to be, which are now Fridays for my short form and my podcast, and Tuesday mornings for my YouTube channel. And I'm not going to currently write the batching schedule for my YouTube channel because some of those are going to be vlogs and it doesn't always make sense to film it that morning, so we'll reverse engineer everything. Now let's make a key code. So now that we have our color coded system, all we're gonna do now is just fill in the colors on here. Something really helpful for you to know is whether you're doing this for YouTube, podcast, short form, is what day am I posting on and how many times a week am I doing this? So for YouTube, my goal is 1. For podcast, my goal is also 1. Short form, my goal is minimum 3 times a week, but I really would love to strive for 5. I just decided that my YouTube channel is going to be publishing on Sundays, as well as my podcast. It just makes everything easier. Something that's really important to remember is that I'm always at least a week or 2 in advance. And so when I do it like this, it allows me to be prepared for when I publish. So if I'm filming something on the 3rd, that video is going to be published on either the 12th or the 19th. I have stacks and stacks and stacks of content in my, hard drive that I can push out right now. So that's how I know that I can go ahead and be 2 weeks in advance. So what I'm gonna do now is what I'm going to publish on the 29th and what I'm gonna publish on the 5th. Those are gonna be already recorded. It'll be this video that we're posting right now. We'll go ahead and make this a founder diary because I already have that recorded. Now it's me thinking about what are the next few videos going to be. So now that I already have a CEO systems and routines, a founder diaries, based on the other content pillars that I have, and my brand anchor, what is the next one going to be? Voice-based marketing ecosystem, biz alignment with God. Now I can go to my list of content ideas, which I have so many in my phone. I have everything organized. So I go to my thinking tank, I go to my YouTube. I have all of these ideas in my phone. So I'll go through one of these and pick something. Something that I'm considering doing is not writing out what these specific topics are gonna be yet, because when I do filming days, I actually prep for my filming days either the day before or that morning. I'm already about 3 weeks of, content ahead. So instead of planning out what these 2 are going to be, I'm going to go ahead and just stop here. And when the time comes, I can fill this in. But now that I understand when I'm filming, what days I'm publishing for both my podcast and my YouTube channel, now if I wanted to, I could add the short form in here so that my short form can either build off of what I just posted on my YouTube or something else. But for now, this is good with me to get a stopping point. And what I feel most comfortable with is using a different product or calendar for me to fill in what I'm gonna post for my short form, especially because it's based on what offer I'm selling that week and also just whatever God leads me to do. But I know I'm changing it up and utilizing these content pillars. So I'm really excited to do that, but I'm gonna do that off camera. I just remembered that I have a podcast episode and a YouTube video to publish. I know my posting days are Tuesdays, but this week I didn't publish it on time because I got busy and I didn't have my systems in place. And now that I do, it's really important that even though I didn't do it on the exact day that I said, I still follow through with my word and I post once a week on both. And so although that may mean that I have an extra video to edit this weekend, it's worth it. And thankfully, I have yapping videos, so it's not gonna take much editing, honestly. It's really just the front cover. But I've been sitting here for the past hour and a half, brain dumping on my offer, because that's what I feel led to do, and I don't wanna say I'll do it later and then work on my tasks, because if I do that, I just felt really in the flow, so that's what I did. And I'll just make sure to get the rest of the stuff done before I go to bed. I am honestly getting really tired, but I'm just gonna push through. Just took my pre-workout. I don't like drinking a whole bottle because honestly, whenever you're working out and there's all this water flowing, like I don't want to deal with that. So pre-workout is taken, have my banana, or about to run out the door, head to my favorite workout place ever. And we gotta get going because there is a busy day today and I still have some of those tasks to get done that we worked through together. On the way to the photo shoot with Amanda. She decided to drive. She also did my makeup because I don't know how to do it still. Yeah, we're running late, but it's okay because God's gonna redeem the time. It's 3:33 and we got the shoot for 3:30 and we have it for an hour, but we just need a couple of good shots, right?
Right. It's not gonna take me long to get what I need.
Yeah,
or what we need.
She the best. She the best.
I just want to say, she knows how to do her makeup. She's just not used to doing her makeup. That's all.
I tried to do it before and it didn't turn out too well. And I just kind of said, you know what, I'm all right with just the bare face. I like the bare minimum look anyway. But the shoot is for a magazine, not a cover, but inside of a magazine feature for Easter, because we're celebrating Jesus. And she wanted to highlight women in business who lead with their faith. And that's why I'm a part of it, because duh.
Yeah, obvious.
Obviously, why would she not pick me? But yeah, I've just been learning to be super loud about accomplishments and about the things God is doing in my life and in my business. And so I have another really big surprise, but I'm not going to talk about it yet. I think that's going to be a whole nother video. But yeah, we're going to get right into the shoot. I also brought some sticky notes because I really want to do some fun little shots for like my cover photos on my reels, and also just get some shots on my phone. So when I am doing my stories, it's still aesthetic, but it doesn't need to be so high resolution where it kind of puts me not above people, because it just has the perception of, oh, like, I don't know, people just want it to be like low res sometimes. I can't think of like what I'm trying to say.
On brand.
Yeah.
Cute.
I want it to be on brand, but I want it to be like, oh, this was just in my camera roll. Like, I didn't need to pull out a camera to get this shot. That's basically what I'm trying to say. But I think that would be beneficial for.
Guide you through the process too.
Okay.
And yeah, we can chat.
Fun. Well, you have a great day.
Thank you. You too.
It's Monday. I just hopped off a call with one of my friends. We are doing a collaboration, which is why it is so important not only to build a personal brand, but actually support people online, because God will open doors for you and provide you something that you actually need. So for me, I have really been struggling with my weight loss. And so Jasmine, she's a root practitioner. So she solves the problem at the root versus like giving you all this medication to get on. So I'm really excited and I'm really grateful for this opportunity for us to collaborate together. She's gonna come into my community inside the inner circle. She's going to teach, support the other women who are business owners, because that's who she serves. And not only that, we're gonna be working together for the next 3 months and just shifting my food. And I'm just so excited. But today we are taking the day to finish all those tasks that we listed out together last week, and this weekend just ended up being a super fulfilling and busy weekend. Saturday was my photo shoot that you were able to see. We did some stuff for the magazine feature that I'm going to be a part of for Easter. We also did some content outside, and my photographer is my best friend. She is truly the best, so I suggest you go find her and book her. She does travel, and we were able to just dilly-dally and hang out. We both have been just super busy in our business and our life, and it was just so fun to be able to connect and, you know, hang out and just do whatever we wanted to do, because right after we filmed, we went to go to Vidora. We had some good food. We went to my house. We hung out. It was just truly a fulfilling day. And then Sunday, I ended up helping my friend out with some things, went to the movies, got home, and I was just so tired. And normally I do plan out my entire week on my calendar on Sundays, order my groceries, all those things. But truly, I just felt so tired and I wanted to prioritize my rest rather than being busy. And the truth is, this morning, I also woke up and I was still tired, and I thought about forcing myself to work. But God reminded me in Psalms 127, it is useless to work all day and night for food when God provides rest for his loved ones. And I believe like that was his way of telling me it's okay. Just lay down and go back to sleep for a little bit. You are a business owner. You can do that. And it's like, I just love God. He's amazing. So I did say in prayer, I said, God, I want you to disrupt my plans if it needs to be disrupted. Guide me in what my priorities should be. And now having this conversation with Jasmine, I'm like, my priority is 1, doing what I said I was gonna do. So I'm about to sit down, order my groceries for the week. We started the 80-day challenge inside the inner circle, which just has to do with our health, eating whole foods, ensuring we're following our routines, natural sugars only, you know, very limited artificial sweeteners. And then what else was on my list? Oh yeah, planning out my calendar for the week. I am teaching inside of Women of Network on Thursday, and I'm going to be teaching about excuse, my mind went blank for a second. Excuse proof content systems to get seen and be paid. And yeah, I'm just really excited for everything, because God has just truly been speaking to me a lot about this next season, where he's pushing me in business, and it has everything to do with the power of your voice, but using the power of your voice to build a cult-like community, to have high demand in your offers, make more money in your business, and also express your God-given authority that he has planted you on this earth with. And it's not that you don't have it, you just need to fully execute and exercise that authority. And so yeah, I'm just really excited. So let's get into this work we're gonna get done, and order our groceries first. I officially almost got through absolutely everything on my list, and you know what? I'm so happy and proud of that. I'm gonna work on my shop mind throughout the week, working on setting up Claude AI so that it can actually update it for me so I can work smarter, not harder, be efficient as possible. But just know, like, I am so grateful that we were able to do this together. I really pray that you learned a lot, even if it's just some little nuggets here and there. We were able to get back on track, especially during a busy season. I have the rest of the day to just sit down, do a focus block. I'm going to be updating my social media bio, updating my highlights, updating my links in my bio, and truly just positioning myself as the authority that I already am. It's already positioned that way, but I just want to make it better, especially now that I've realized, like, wow, I am a 6-figure business mentor and coach. And it's not even about the money, but it's truly just about the impact. And I am more so amazed that God did that through me in just 1 year than the number itself. But I also am not surprised because of the way that I surrendered my business to God, the way that I showed up, the way that I fasted, I prayed. I did everything that God asked me to do. And so I have been able to bear the fruit of that. And I'm just ready for everything God is going to continue to do in this next year, in my 2nd year of being a business owner. And I'm so glad that you were here with me on YouTube. Look, there's so much more to come. You already know, you saw the content plan that we worked through together. So anyways, I'm just praying that you have the best day. And until next time, I will see you in the next vlog or video. Make sure to check out everything else on my page because it's gonna bless you. I just know it. Okay, I love you. Bye.